ISKCON Acharya Shila Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Prem se Guru Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Gaurikai ki jai. Shri Radha Govinda ki jai. Jagannath Shri Baldev Shrimati Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashwari Krishna Dev ki jai. Radha Maharaj ki jai. Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Gaur Premanande. All glories to the Samvati Devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Samvati Devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Samvati Devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories. Shri Shri Guru and Shiva. Namo Vishnu Krishna Krishna Guru. Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vicharini. Nirvishesha Srinivani Pashtata Deshatani. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Gyanti Mirandasya Jam Shanatya Chakshurun Velitam Yen Tasmai Shri Guru Vairama. Shri Chaitanya Manam Krishna Sthapitam Yen Vatare. Swarupa Kadamyam Sadhapi Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya. Shri Rupam Sahajatam Sahagam Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagam Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanshcha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dilabharu Jagapate Gopeshwar Bhakantanaasmate Aptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishakanu Sukre Devi Paramami Layeve Manchakalpatarubhyascha Vasandhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurabhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So thank you all for coming and thank you all for giving me the opportunity to serve you. So I was thinking there's a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. By the way, I forgot my glasses, so it's only half used, so we'll see. And that's the problem with having reading only glasses because you don't wear them all the time. And anyway, so there's a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto, chapter 33, text 36. It says, Anugrahaya Bhaktana Manusham Deham Astata. Excuse me. Bhajante Tadashi Pira Yat Sutva Tat Paro Bhave. What it means is that Lord Krishna, out of his own mercy, appears in a human-like form. And the reason he appears in human-like form is so we can relate to him. It's hard to relate to light, to something you can't see, or some strange species. You can't relate to it, but you can understand it. The ears, the eyes, the nose, the hands, they are there. You can understand. So he appears in that form for that reason, so we can relate to him, or relate with him. And then he performs pastimes. And the pastimes are so potent that simply by hearing them, we become devotees. So those of us who have polluted hearts, when we hear them, even we become devotees. So Srila Jiva Goswami explains that that's the main reason why Krishna appears, to purify our hearts. And so when our hearts become purified, what happens? You become attached to the lotus feet of the Lord. And what happens when you become attached to the lotus feet of the Lord? What happens?
You attain His mercy?
You attain His mercy, but more than that.
You get liberty devotional service.
Yeah, so we basically are able to transcend all the material attachment, material things, and the material universe, go back home where his lotus feet constantly reside, which is Goloka Vrindavan. So that's the so he's interested in getting us all back home. Like you all hear the example. Thank you, yeah, that's better. You all hear about the example about a father missing his children if they run away from home. And the greatest desire of the father is to have children back home. He's in the same way. I mean, there's so many of us run away from it. And he's saying, come on. So I thought today, based on that, one of the verses I thought of, in Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, text 10, is Mat Chitta Madgat Prana, Bodhyantas Parasmara, Kathyantaschu Mamnitya, Dushyanticha, Ramanticha. So those who become attached to him, whose hearts are attached to Mat Chitta, whose consciousness is attached to him, Madgat Prana, whose life is simply him, what do? is simply talk about his pastimes, Krishna Katha. That's where their enjoyment comes, that's where their nourishment comes from, and that's where their satisfaction comes from. So in fact today, and especially because in 2 days from now, what happens? Damodar month, Kartik Mass starts. And so Kartik Mass is known, the reason it's named Kartik Mass is because, why is it called Kartik Mass? Huh? Sorry. No, but why is it called Kartik month? Yes.
Kritika.
Say it again?
Krishna stole Bhadra and Yashoda tied them to a
Okay, no, that's Damodar month. Kartik Mass, you're right. So the mother of Radharani is known as Kirtida. That's her name. Being the daughter of Kirtida, Radharani is known as Kirtika. This month is the month of Radharani, which is known as Kartika. Okay? It's followed by, what's the next month? No. Markshish, which is Keshava month. Right? So Krishna says, Markshish the best, and I'm the Markshish month among all the 12 months. So next month is Krishna's month. So I should say next month because it's still next month Kartik. So I'm thinking about it in Kartik. Anyway, so after Kartik, the next month is Krishna's month. So Radha and Krishna go together. Of course, Radha comes first because she's considered greater. Anyway, so Krishna performs a lot of pastimes with Radha. Why? Because she's his topmost devotee, and she's the one who Krishna loves the most. So, okay. So also typically, so there's lots of pastimes between Radha and Krishna. How long did you live in Vrindavan? How many years?
Oh, Krishna?
Yeah.
11 years.
Almost 10 years, 7 months.
Yes.
So they're almost right, not quite, but almost right from birth. You will have pastimes with Radha. And there are different types of pastimes. So today we're going to talk about pastimes where either he wear a disguise to look like somebody else, or she wear a disguise and look like somebody else. And we'll talk about pastimes where nobody knew this is Krishna, and pastimes where Krishna didn't know this is Radha in disguise. And of course, sometimes they did, knowing that we know each other, but disguise for somebody else, like Abhimanyu or Jitala and Kutila. You know who that? Abhimanyu, Jitala, and Kutila?
Yeah.
Who are?
Mother-in-law and father. Sorry.
Yeah, mother-in-law, sister-in-law,
Sister.
and the husband, the soul husband.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about those depending on how much time we have left. Okay. So we'll talk first about a pastime where Krishna dresses up as a gopi and he goes to Varsa. So where did Krishna live? Which ground? I want to go into up, so I'm just asking. Stay up. So tell me, where did he live? Nandagaon. Nandagaon. Where did Radharani live? Varsa. Before marriage. After marriage? Yavat.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so this is before marriage, so she's living in Varsa. So one day, Krishna woke up and said, I'm going to test how much Radha actually loves me. So he got up, dressed up as a gopi, very beautiful gopi, and went to Varsa. Now, in those days, boys and men couldn't just walk into a palace. So, a lot of restrictions, social and otherwise. Anyway, so he dressed up as a girl, as a gopi, and he showed up. And he got there, he was admiring how beautiful this palace is. You know, but he didn't notice that was beautiful girl coming in. And he noticed that, you know, so many nice, beautiful lakes, so many beautiful flower gardens, trees, etc., etc. Meanwhile, he kept walking. Finally got to a part where Radharani was walking. And she was walking on petals of a flower called Shirisha. Anybody heard that name? It's a novel, it's a beautiful flower, yellowish green or greenish yellow, whatever you call it. Very, very fragrant, very soft petals. So she was walking on them. Why was she walking on them? Because otherwise her feet might get hurt. So we talk about in Gopi, we talk about how soft Krishna's feet are, that the gopis are afraid to put it on their breasts. That they might hurt your feet, you know, and Radharani's feet are even softer. And it said that sometimes even those petals made a mark on her soles because they're so soft. Imagine petals of a soft flower, a soft petal flower, making an imprint on your skin because it's so soft. So that's how Radharani's skin is. So anyway, so he was there, and they were, you know, all the women were singing songs. What song do you think they might be singing in the Radharani's palace? No, we can't do that. We can't do that. Of Radharani herself, they're all singing the glories of Radharani. So of course Krishna was enjoying that. He kept going. And then he saw Radharani, and Radharani saw him.
Yeah.
So, and so she was very attracted to her right away. And she called her, said, please come. And Radharani said, I'm so happy to see you. really happy to see you, and somehow, I look at you and thinking about Krishna. So that's making me even more happy, and who are you and what are you doing here? So now Krishna, the she, speaks. He says, I heard about your beauty from your friend called Lalita. I live in a village just north of Nandaga's palace, and I just came to meet you because I heard you're so beautiful. So Radharani is saying, and you are so beautiful yourself, I'm so happy to see you, and she embraced her. And what's your name? She said, my name is Dev Gop. Sorry.
Shamapriya.
No. Dev, let me just say. Gop Devata, sorry. My name is Gop Devata. And, I'm looking at you and I think that you are more beautiful than Rambha, Balochan, and Urvashi, and all such things combined. They can't compete with you. You're so beautiful. I've never seen anybody beautiful. But I have to go now and I'll come back tomorrow. So I said, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. I'll miss you. And so she left. Then she went back next day and Radharani received her and said, I really missed you. So what did you do when you went back? She said, yeah, actually, that's what I want to talk to you about. I went back and I was walking by this place called Vanshiva. And there was this blue-colored boy standing there playing his flute. And it was so amazing that I stood there, just listened to him. Then I noticed that all these girls were swooning upon him and they was embracing them and they were all over him and just listening to this like I was mesmerized. They were mesmerized, and Radharani said, yeah, that's my Krishna. So this girl said, he's your Krishna? She said, yeah. No, it's not yours. There's no way. There's so many girls, with him. He was enjoying the company of so many girls. How can he be yours? And I said, no, you don't understand. That's just his, his personality. People are attracted to him automatically. He's very nice, actually. Instead praising him as if he's God. He'll give liberation to people. He's very merciful to people. They shelter of him. He'll do anything for you. It went on and on and on. And again, Krishna, the Gop Devata, said, yeah, but what I saw, she said, no, he's only mine. She said, prove to me somehow that he's only yours. She said, I'll prove to you. And she closed her eyes and started thinking about Krishna. And suddenly her face was flushed. Tears were coming in her eyes. And her heartbeat was faster. She was breathing hard. And Krishna was noticing all that as a girl. And he couldn't control her. He saw it like that. So he turned into Krishna, and embraced her. When he embraced her, I opened her eyes. What happened? Just seeing Krishna standing in front of her. Just, how did you come? What happened? And he said, well, I was in Manshivat. I was playing my flute, minding my own business, and suddenly I had this amazing stirring in my heart. And somebody who loves me a lot is calling me. And I kept thinking, who could be calling me? But before I knew, I'm here. So it's the power of your thinking about me that I showed up. And then, of course, the Gop Devata is gone. It's not anywhere there because it's the same person. Yeah, so that was one boss line. Okay, let's see if I can get another one. It's too bad I can't see. Okay, so one time Krishna is disguised as a doctor. In Sanskrit, they say Vaidya. So what happened was, Radharani was for some reason not able to see Krishna for a few days. So she was feeling that separation. And she became sick. And so everybody was worried. They got different doctors and nobody was able to cure her. And the temperature was going higher and higher and higher. And suddenly the gopis heard somebody singing outside. Very melodious voice, beautiful singing. And so they came out. Lalita Vishaka especially came out and said, there's a woman. My dear, who are you? You're singing so nicely, it's beautiful singing. And she said, I'm a doctor. And I can cure just about any disease. So they said, well, if that's the case, we'd like to give it a try because our friend Radha, she's having very high fever. And it's not coming down. So many doctors have come and gone. And nothing's coming down, so can you help? She said, sure, no problem. So now she's entering the inner chambers of the palace where Radharani is. She goes, offers, pranam to Radharani as she's lying down in bed. And he tells all the Sakhis, go get some wet towels because I need her to come down. And you go bring this and you bring that. Sends everybody out. So they go to different rooms to try to get something. And suddenly they hear Radharani shout. And she says, this doctor is supposed to touch my pulse. He's touching me everywhere. What's he doing? So they come back running. And so this doctor is standing there. And they notice that her fever is gone. She's completely okay. And the doctor says, well, I told you. This. Which is good. Okay. Another one. One time, excuse me, I want to make sure I don't confuse my different concepts. Okay, so one time what happened was Radharani is talking to Lalita. Everybody knows Lalita, right?
Yeah.
So, and she's explaining the pain of separation from Krishna. And she's saying, you know, Lalita, why can't I disguise as a Vajayanti Mala? Everybody knows what that is? You got it? Because then I'll be just hanging around the neck of Krishna and there'll be no problem. You know? Why can't I disguise as a cowherd boy, as a Gobas? Because I can play with him all day long. Right now, there's so many restrictions, daytime I cannot see him. You know, so I have to wait for the night. Or why can't I disguise as a flute? And flute is like dry, lifeless thing. But it's constantly tasting the nectar of the lips of Krishna. So I could do that. You know, I don't know why I can't do that. And so she became, really upset. At around that time, Krishna was sitting somewhere else under a kadamba tree and thinking about Krishna. And suddenly he saw Lalita's coming his way. So he got up, welcomed her and says, how are you and where's your friend? Where's your Saki? She says, I'll tell you later, but I got a gift for you. And he said, yeah, what is it? He said that it's the sweet nectar of pink roses collected by queen bees in a diamond pot. The diamond pot was then put in the hands of a demigoddess who took a cotton ball, made it wet with that, and put it on the soles of Radharani. You know, the altar, it was altar.
Yeah.
So something like that. But nothing. And I brought you that ball. I said, oh, okay. So he put it on behind his ears. I smelled the feet of the aroma of the feet of Radharani. And he said, oh my God, I must have performed some really amazing fire sacrifices, must have some really pious activities to have this fortune. And Lalita said, yes, you are very fortunate to receive this. And he said, yeah, I'm very happy that thank you so much. And then she said, you should worship Radharani and you worship the Sakhis of Radharani because we are the queens of all forms of art. And Krishna said, really? Lalita said, you have any doubts? And he said, yes, I do, because whenever I disguise myself, none of you is able to recognize me. So therefore, I'm better at these arts than you are. And they said, no, it's just because we haven't tried to disguise in front of you, and you're not going to recognize it. And he said, no, I always be able to do that. Okay, she said, fine. We will have Radharani disguise herself, come in front of you. If you recognize her, then you're the winner. If you don't recognize her, then you have to accept that we are the queens of fine art. I said, okay, challenge accepted. So Lalita goes back to Radharani, tells her the whole story about Preeti. And at that time, she notices that Vishaka has a book. And she's showing, Radharani in different places, watering the grass or, playing around on the swing, things like that. So she's doing that. And she said that Krishna thinks that he's the smartest of all. And you have to prove him wrong. And you have to prove to him that, when we disguise or you disguise Radha, he'll not be able to recognize you. So Radharani said, okay, I'll accept the challenge. And so one day soon after this conversation happened, Krishna had lost some of his cows. So he was going around looking for his lost cows. And he entered a grove. Everybody knows grove, right? And this is one of the henna groves. So many. So he went in there. He saw a lot of girls sitting there. And they were applying henna on his hands. And they were singing. And the song they were singing said basically that the henna that they are using is no ordinary henna. It not only increases the beauty of your body, hands, etc., it also increases the love in the heart of your lover. So not your heart, but in the heart of your lover, which is even more important. And Krishna heard that and said, is that really true? And one of the Sakhis says, yeah, that's very true. And Krishna said, oh, you speak so nicely, Gopi, dear Gopi. What is your name? So the Gopi is applying the henna. She said, my name is Hari, excuse me, Lali Hari. Lali Hari. So Krishna said, will you please paint my hand also? If it requires my body? She said, sure. What pattern would you like? So Krishna said, get this. Write Kishori on my hand. Who's Kishori? Huh? Radha. Write Kishori on my hand. Like Radha Shri Radha on my neck. Write on Ananda Vardhani. Everyone know what Ananda Vardhani is? The one that increases your wish. Ananda Vardhani on my wrist. Write a Swamini on my chest. and Nandini on my eyelids, and Shama on my lips, and Sundari on my nose. So all parts of the body are covered. So she said, okay, no problem. She started writing the Radharani's name on various parts of his body as it was said. But the moment this gopi touched Krishna, he asked, is it your touch that feels so pleasant? Or is the name of my beloved that feels so pleasant? The girl said, it's the name of your beloved and the art of my hand. So both of them. Okay. So, okay. When he came out, when the hair dried up, he looked at his reflection in the pond. It was a little mirror, so had a jeweled wall or something, or a pond or whatever. He saw his thing, and he saw his reflection, and he was totally mesmerized. He said, oh my God, I look so good. And he said, I got to show this to Radha. So he goes to Radharani's palace, and again, he's not allowed inside. So he's sitting outside and shouting Radharani's name and saying, please come out and see my body. Like all this, so nice. And from inside, Radharani said, I don't have to come out. I know that henna design looks so good on me. He said, wait a minute, how did you know about henna design on my body? I didn't say that. He said, Radharani said, because it was I who painted upon you. And then Lalita came out of the room and said, see, you did not recognize Radharani. Then all the gopis came out laughing and saying, you did not recognize Radharani, therefore we have won. Now you admit defeat. He said, yes, I admit defeat. He bowed down in front of the gopis, and Radharani shouted, long live my Sakhis! My Sakhis in the And they are doing Sabda, all forms of art. So that established, no more arguments, they are the things. Okay. I'm going to look at it, right? Okay. Another pastime is called Look Leela. Look, basically, that's not English word. Okay. It's Chipat.
Hide and seek.
Hide and seek.
Yeah.
But look Chipat. So in Lucknow, we look Chipat. They call him Look. So same person. So what happened was that one day, Radharani went to Yamuna to not just bathe, but all sections go and then they play. You splash water on each other, things like that. And they do all that. And Krishna happened to be in a nearby forest. One of his best friends was Subal. You know who Subal was?
Radharani's brother.
Yes, but a little more. Anyway, he was actually Chandravali's real brother and Radharani's cousin brother. So Radharani and Chandravali were cousins. So he was the real brother of Radharani, so Chandravali, but he was in the camp of Radharani. And he was also the best friend of Krishna. So wherever Krishna went, typically Subal would be there. Anyway, so this day, in the forest, is there Subal. And he said, Subal, I hear that you know all the mysteries of any forest. He said, yes, I can tell you anything about any forest. So I said, oh, okay, so how did you learn? I said, I learned it from the goddess of the forest, Shrimati Gangadhari. Oh, okay, great. So let me test you. And here's the question. Tell me how many types of grasses are there in the forest of Vrindavan? How many types of grasses are there in the forest of Vrindavan? And Subal said, there are exactly 6,826 types of grasses. Not approximation here. Little more than 6,000. No. 6,826 grasses. Smiling, he said, well done. That's amazing. That reminded me of a joke, completely out of context. But anyway, somebody was bragging about his math abilities. And they were in a village, so his friend said, so how many cows are there? Last cows there, right? He looks at him and says, 3,335. He says, how did you count so fast? It's very simple, I counted the legs divided by 4. So, it was a joke, but he didn't go with it. Anyway, so he said, 626. And he said, I'm not only learned in the science of forest, but also very good numbers, so I could tell that. And not only that, but by the blessings of my Guru, I am able to tell who's present in any forest in the place at any time. So who's there? He said, oh, can you tell me who's present right now in the next forest? And Subal said, Akanya. Kanya means a girl. Akanya. Krishna said, which Kanya? Subal said, her name is Vrishabhanu Kumari. Shilade. Upon hearing her name, Krishna gave a big hug to Subal and said to Madhu Mangal's other friend, said, you take care of the cows, I'll be back in a few minutes. So, took off from there. And then after sitting for a while, he saw Radharani was playing with her friends in the water. It's called the water was called Jal Keli. So don't Jal Keli. So he went there and said to the girls, you better go back to Govardhan because your in-laws are looking for you. So, yeah. So sent them away, only Radharani was left. So he said, let's, you and I go to some grove. So they have these kunja gullies, right? You know what kunja gullies? What is kunja gully? Yeah, narrow dusty paths, because it's thick forest, there are little paths. You then go to a grove. And Radharani said, oh, Jula Gwalas. Kind of fancy language. Oh, Jula Gwalas. Everyone knows Gwalas?
Yeah.
Coward boys. So, go is go. Wala is taking care of. So, coward boys. So, oh, Jula Gwalas, behold this forest pathways, the Kunjagalis. They're dense and narrow and many in number. So, let's play look here. The hide and seek. It's Radharani's proposal. Krishna was very excited. I like games, right? He said, yes, I will hide and you find me. And Radha said, no, it's always like that. Today, let me hide and you find me. Okay, that will be very easy. It's very quick for me. I know there's no fun here. She said, no, it's okay, we'll see. So, Radha said, you sing a song, and then I'll hide, and then you stop singing and look for me. She said, okay. So, she went and hid somewhere in some grove in the forest, and Krishna started singing a song. Now, what do you think was singing? Any ideas? All about? Radharani. I mean, this is not the topic, right? This is not the subject. He doesn't know anything else, right? So Radha only knows Krishna, Krishna only knows Radha. There's no subject. It's only us to know so many other things. Anyway, so he started singing. After a while, Krishna stopped and said, Radhe, I'm coming. Be ready or not, I'm coming. That kind of thing. And he started looking for her. And he searched for Radharani for a long time, a very long time. Couldn't find her. So he started saying, oh Radhe, where are you? My heart is aching without you. Hope you're fine and safe. Please be the object of my vision. Imagine, please be the object of my vision. So please be the vision of my paradise. Excuse me. And suddenly, as I was looking around, she's not crying like that. So a very handsome young cowboy boy appeared in front of him. And Krishna asked him, my dear, have you seen my beloved Radha in these narrow kunjagalis, the narrow pathways? He said, who? He said, Radha, my beloved. Smiling, the broker said, oh, Radha. Radha who disguises herself in the soft, sweet breeze of Yamuna. Radha who disguises herself in the soft, sweet breeze of Yamuna. Radha who disguises herself in the sweet aroma of Vrindavan flowers. Radha who hides herself among the honey of dark bees. Radha whose name is chanted by Lord Shiva. And Radha who disguises herself as a cowboy boy who's standing now right in front of you. So Krishna's eyes just went wide. He said, wow, oh Radha, indeed your presence is felt in each and every most wonderful thing. Everything in Vrindavan. And now today I've witnessed you disguise a cowboy boy, and it's absolutely amazing. This time you really tricked me. All glories to you, Rupanuga, like Gopanuga. Disguised as a Gola in Madhura. And of course, all glories to Radha and Krishna, who roam together in the Kunjagalis of Madhura.
Nice.
Want to hear more?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Nice. Nice pastime.
Yeah. A messenger group. So remember I started the class by saying we hear this, we develop attachment to the Lord. You want to get more? We develop that attachment.
Yeah.
Some people are so sweet. So this is called messenger gopi. So interestingly, we think that the forests of Vrindavan are just there. But actually they play a very active role. It's not very obvious because they're not the kind of brag. They play a very active role. So whenever Radharani especially disguises herself, the whole forest, all the forest, how many are there? How many forests? God, yes. In the forest of Vrindavan, they help her sustain her disguise. So that's why it's said that the forests of Vrindavan are situated in the same mood as the divine couple. Who's the divine couple? Radha and Krishna. And that is why they call it mystical forest. Sometimes they reveal the secret pastimes of the divine couple, and sometimes they hide the pastimes of the divine couple. They change their mood and nature according to the desire or needs of the divine couple. So depending on what their mood is, what they want to do, happens. Therefore, we can conclude that the forests of Vrindavan play an important role in the pastimes of Krishna and Radha. Therefore, they become just as respectable. Now, who are these priests, by the way? Who are these priests? They are all pure devotees who choose to serve Krishna in Shantaras, the mellow of neutrality. They are all pure devotees. And one of the most famous pure devotee whose constitutional form is a tree is Madhavendra Guru, the Param Guru of Lord Chaitanya. Okay? From Lord Chaitanya. His constitutional form is a tree. So they are all, and you all know that Uddhava also prayed to become what? What is it? Huh?
Grass?
Uddhava prayed to become
A grass?
yeah, grass or creeper, so that they will step on. So, but anyway, it's pure devotee. Why they did that? So there are a lot of pure devotees who got their wish, they became that. Anyway, so let me tell you the story about how Radharani disguised herself as a messenger. The Sanskrit word is Dutika. So Dut is male messenger, Dutika is female messenger. So one day, so you all know about Chandravali, right? Who's Chandravali? This is Radharani, but little more than that. Who else? Why else do we know her? Come on. She's a competitor of Radharani, of Krishna's love. So Krishna often runs to her, not to Radharani, and Radha gets angry and then wants to pass it on. There's competition going on, like all the time. Right? So Chandravali is one camp, Radha is another. So we are in Radharani's camp. There's a lot of people in Chandravali's camp. So anyway, this is a very famous rivalry that goes on. And there's so many pastimes where Radha got angry because he went to her, not to Radharani. Anyway, so like Radharani has two very famous friends who are Shakya. Similarly, Chandravali has two very famous friends. One is Padma, it's called Shakya. Okay. So anyway, so one day somehow Lalita ran into Padma from Chandravali, and they started debating who does Krishna love more. So now, who was Lalita advocating for? Who was Padma advocating for? Chandravali, right? Now this debate going on. So, as you may suspect, Padma said, no, he loves Chandravali more. And Lalita said, no, he loves Radha more than your queen. Interesting, he didn't say Chandravali. Why? Radharani does not like to hear the name Chandravali. So therefore, her friends, the Sakhis, never take Chandravali's name, not in front of Radharani, but even when she's not there. Even away from Radharani, they will not take Chandravali's name. So she's not saying Chandravali, she's saying your queen. So she's saying, my Krishna loves Radharani more than he loves your queen. The other friend of Padma, Shakya, the camp of Chandravali, suddenly whispered something in the ear of Padma. And Padma said, okay, let's settle this debate. What we'll do is, let's arrange so that Krishna does not see either Chandravali or Radharani for 3 days. And then let's see whom Krishna misses more. Okay? And of course we will win, Padma said. Of course we will win. And Lalita very angrily accepted the challenge, and we shall see. And left. Lalita went straight to where Radharani was and told her all about the challenge that she had accepted for Padma. And Radharani said, what did you do? You know my heart. I can't stay away from Krishna for 3 days. So accept defeat, let me leave with Krishna. And Lalita said, no, can't do that. And I said, did you know, even a moment away from Krishna, he's like a millennium. Right? So I can't do that. Lalita said, no, let's make this a test of love of Krishna for you. So you must be patient to see whom Krishna loves more. You or your rival. Again, no name. You or your rival. So I said, okay, I agreed. So she began a 3-day fast. And what does Krishna do? He's lonely, he's upset, he's missing Radharani. He's wandering around, not knowing what to do with himself for these 3 days. And he's feeling totally lost. On the 3rd day, he got to a grove and he started crying. Krishna, he started crying. Oh Radhe, where have you gone? What mistake have I made that I have not seen you in 3 days? Please meet me at least once. Now, Krishna is somewhere crying like that, Radharani can hear him wherever she is. It's an inner call of her love, right? So she can do it. And she felt an urgent need to meet Krishna. But she had given a promise to Lalita that I will not see him. So she said, okay, I will not see him directly, but maybe I can meet him indirectly by disguising myself as a messenger gopi. So actually, many gopis had this duty of being Dutika. Were taking messages from Radha to Krishna, Krishna to Radha. There were also two, but actually that is one bird had the same task. Who was that poet? You know? Shukadev, yeah. So Shuka at that time, but the Shuka became Shukadev. That's a whole other story. Sai with other one, yeah. So it was whole other person. Anyway, so there were many girls who had the same dream. So she became like one of them, just like them, and went where Krishna was. Now, as part of the dress, she took a long feather of a peacock to use as a pen. And then she took an ink pot. Anybody remember ink pot?
Yeah.
You do that? Yeah. These kids don't know anything about that. You know? So anyway, so she hung her ink pot from her waist and went. And also large rose petals right on. There was no paper roses. Right? Rose petals right on. And went where Krishna was sitting crying. So now she shows up. When she got there, she saw Krishna in the most pitiable state. He had become so weak from crying that he could not even stand to greet this messenger, Dudika. So Dudika said, "Oh my God, boy, it looks like you are suffering from love fever. Are you missing anyone dear to your heart? Should I take a message to her?" Krishna said, "Who are you?" She said, "I'm a Dudika, I'm a messenger. I heard your cries and I came to see what was wrong and if I may help you." Krishna said, "I'm so glad you're here. Please take my message to my beloved Radha." To test Krishna, whose name is Radharani of Krishna's Radhanavali. So she said, "Tell me the name and the address of your beloved so I can take a message to her." So Krishna said softly, "Her name is Radha." Hearing that, a beautiful smile came across her face. Krishna continued, "Her address is that she lives in a highly praised Goloka. Hidden by the grace of her beauty, she lives in a palace of glories along with all the colors of rainbow personified. She roams around with the Sakhis who each dress up in the colors of a rainbow. She glances down through a window of mercy and looks upon me in the divine realm of Barsana." At that time, the smile on the face of the messenger, the Dudika, became wider. Very broad, ear to ear. But Krishna did not notice. And of course, Radharani could not reveal herself because she had made a promise to let that not do that. Then the plot thickens. Suddenly, the breeze of Vrindavan became filled with the aroma of lotus and jasmine flowers. So now the breeze is filled with the aroma of lotus and jasmine flowers. And the lotus buds started blossoming. The peacocks spread their feathers and started dancing. And nectar from all the flowers began dripping on the ground. Now these are specific signs of what happens whenever Krishna and Radha meet. That's normal. So Krishna looked around the forest and said, "Wait a minute. Before this messenger arrived, everything appeared so dull. But now the whole scene and mood has changed. It feels like the whole forest has suddenly started dancing blissfully in love." And then Krishna realized that these are the signs regularly shown whenever I meet Radha. Taking this cue from the forest, Krishna glanced at the messenger and immediately realized it was none other than his beloved Radharani. So he quickly embraced her. And he said, "My dear Radha, it's you! You may hide from me, but you cannot hide for long from the mercy of the forest of the love. It reveals and it hides." And Krishna went at the forest. Thank you. And took Radharani in his arms and went for a stroll in one of the groves. You could say that beautiful Radha in the arms of Krishna roamed the forest of Vrindavan. And then pastime was finished and Radha came back and told Lalita this has happened. So what did Lalita do? She ran. Where did she run to? Padma, the friend of Tunavali. I said, no. She told Padma what happened. Padma was so embarrassed, she ran back to where Tunavali was. And anyway, that's the pastime. So basically, the point of this pastime was that even the forests of Vrindavan get involved so much in helping with the pastimes of RadheKrishna. So there's only 6 minutes left. I'm going to stop. I could go on, but maybe there are questions or comments or any realizations you want to share.
Prabhu, when you say these pastimes, you're just bringing Radha and Krishna
I know.
proper. But where can maybe, I don't know if we can really enjoy these passages ourselves by reading it, but we can find.
There's Garg Samhita, there's Prem Sampur, there's Gopal Sampur, there's some poets who have written these pastimes in a very beautiful way. So, so there, and there's some pastimes also narrated by Indra Swami, by Radha Swami, different places. And there's so many of them. Really. Yeah. I wish I had a class I would do a better job. But anyway.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I have one question, like you were talking about the henna mainly. So I thought we cannot even wear that. So can we
You
do
cannot?
that?
I didn't know that.
No, because you can put no.
I never heard that.
I thought it is because they say it's for the Muslims.
It's a Muslim. Henna is not Muslim.
So I didn't know that. Today I heard that.
I never heard that. I don't know. I never heard that.
No, but the Lila.
Pastam is there, yeah.
Pastam
Pastam
is
is
there.
there, yes.
They were wearing. The
And,
Krishna was
and at that time they were
wearing.
not Muslims. 5,000 years ago, about Muslims. 1600 years.
So we can wear that means.
Please go ahead. Are you happy today? Are you happy?
Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Krishna's passion in Vrindavan, it differs from Golu up to Dwarka to Mathura. Right? Is it right to say it's more Paramo related in Vrindavan? It's more Paramo related?
No, the Paramount is there, but the knowledge is mixed with the opulence. So in Mathura, they know Krishna is someone very special. In Dwarka, they know Supreme Satya Godhead.
But in Vrindavan, it's more intense. That's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
In
more
Vrindavan-
like Paramo, like the Parivata dance. When you go to the husband, I'm to him. That's Paramo related, right? That's intense. That's
You mean by Paramount? I interpret Paramount as lover. You interpret as somebody who's not married. Is that what you mean?
No. But maybe yes, maybe. Yes, but the word Paramo, like it's more intense.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's what I was asking. If it's safe to say that in Vrindavan, his even with the gopis, is that more Paramo related than normal? I don't know if I'm
So,
I don't know if I'm saying correctly.
It is more intense in Vrindavan than in Mathura or in Dwarka. That's correct. And that's because in Dwarka and Mathura, they know that he's God. In Vrindavan, they don't know. And also, as you said, he doesn't deal with women he's not married in Dwarka. So that's also true. So I need to answer your question.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Kartik Mantha is for Radharani, correct?
It's Radharani's month, not for Radharani.
So why don't we worship her and we basically focus on Damodar?
Oh, okay.
That's one
Good question. Yeah.
But
Why
if we
don't
do the Yamuna and Digdam, but definitely we do that, right? That's fine.
so why don't we worship Radharani in the month of Kartik? We don't, not alone.
Yeah, but not like
Not alone. So in the way we understand the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy is that Radharani is incomplete without Krishna. Krishna is incomplete without Radharani. Because after all, what's the relationship? Radharani is the energy of Krishna. You cannot have energetic without energy. There is no meaning energy without the energetic. You cannot have sun rays without the sun. You cannot have sun without sun rays. So therefore they go together. They are incomplete otherwise. They feel incomplete, they are incomplete, our worship is incomplete. Therefore we always worship Radha Krishna. And that is why in ISKCON we never hear somebody saying Krishna, 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 or Radhe, 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 Radhe. No, Radha Krishna, Hare Krishna. Those two together. That's what makes it complete. That's right. Okay. I need somebody to give me a hint. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Jagati